Hello MRH, this video will demonstrate how to use the Vendor Inquiry Program in Alio. After you've logged into Alio, the first thing you'll do is look over here in the Programs list on the left-hand side. Some of you will have folders such as these. Others of you will just have a list of programs. The program we are looking for is called Vendor Inquiry. So if you have a folder, it will be in the Lookup Inquiry folder. Double-click the folder, and then you'll see all the programs contained within. Locate Vendor Inquiry and double-click. And again, some of you may have Vendor Inquiry over here, just hanging out all by himself. Let's double-click Vendor Inquiry to launch it. So when we look up a vendor in Vendor Inquiry, we're able to see quite a bit of information. We can see purchase orders, we can see checks, we can see requisitions, we can see addresses. So sometimes that is helpful if a vendor were to call and ask where their check was. You could look in the system and see if a check had been cut. Also, in addition to that, you could also see if the check had cleared the bank. And I'll show you how to do that now. So we'll just pick a vendor here. In this case, Schillers. So just start typing the few first letters of the vendor and hit enter. And if there's something in there that matches what you've typed, it'll come up. It's already selected since that was the only one. I'll show you what happens if you just type 2 letters. There's probably more. So I'll try 3. So now you see we're starting to narrow down a little bit. So this should be enough to find this particular vendor. And there they are. So again, it's already selected, so you could either double click it to bring up this record or just click OK. And here's the record. It'll default to the purchase order tab. If you hover over the purchase order number here, then you see that it has more information if you were to double click. So we'll double click and it'll bring up the actual purchase order. So it looks like on this particular PO, we purchased a fluorescent bulb for one of our lighting kits, and then we paid shipping for said bulb. You can also see the associated requisition number, the vendor number, the person who created the requisition, which then became a purchase order, the vendor's contact information, and the amounts. I'll close this window and go to the next tab, that is checks. So here is a check that was cut to Schillers. So this is the check number, also known as the check key. If you hover, you'll see that there is additional information here. Now you can try that on other fields here, but you see I'm hovering here and there's no additional information. Likewise for payment amount, and nothing there for batch. So check key is the only information that we have to drill into here. So I'll double click that. And this will bring up the actual check. So you can see on this particular one, we paid for a LightRays interactive projector and a Smart 880 with the UF75 projector. So here it gives you the check number, the check amount, the date the check was made, which isn't necessarily the day that the check was mailed, but it was certainly the day that the check was created. And then you can see that we cleared it out of our bank on 6/30, which this is when we cleared it out of our system. So if it's been cleared, that means that it has cleared their bank, because this is part of our monthly close process. So if Schillers were to call and ask where their check was, we could say, well, we produced a check to you on 9/27 of 13, and then we cleared it out of our system as paid. So someone in the Schiller group did in fact receive that check. So this is helpful when situations like that arise. Close this window. If I click on the Requisitions tab, you'll see that there's also a requisition here. So if I hover over that requisition number, you'll see that I can drill in for more information. So I'll double click as it says. And here we'll see that this requisition was buying some pieces for, looks like some cables and some speakers and mounting brackets and installation things. Looks like we had some things installed here. So the amount of this particular requisition was $1,704. See that I am the owner of this particular one. You can see the date that it was entered. So again, helpful information in certain circumstances. That's all there is to vendor inquiry. If you have any questions, as always, please let us know.